listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Looks pretty good. Welcome. We are Gamers Digest. We took a week off, but now
4th
we're
of July.
now we're back at it, talking about games and all the stories that we missed, which actually weren't too many
No,
because it seemed like everybody took last week
everybody
off.
took off for 4th of July.
So
What'd you do for 4th of July?
I went to Ocean City. We live in Maryland. For anybody who watches that doesn't know, which I think are like 4.
Yeah.
So we went to Ocean City, hung out on the beach, got to watch some fireworks, eat some good food.
I played Homefront.
Yeah?
Yeah. hmm
That's very patriotic.
Exactly, yeah.
You killed
A bunch of Koreans.
bunch of Koreans. There you go.
I was trying to liberate America, okay?
Okay. Well,
So.
as long as you're liberating us.
hmm
Um, I guess you already started, so what else did you play?
I played, let's see, this was before I finished Back to the Future. I also, I finally got Left 4 Dead episode, no, not Left 4 Dead, Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead episode 2, finally played that. That was really good. What I've really been playing has been Dragon's Dogma. I got it last Friday. That game, it's good. I like it a lot. It reminded me a lot of Monster Hunter for PS2.
Isn't there
And
like a Monster Hunter DLC pack?
yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to do a review on it soon.
Yeah,
Definitely.
actually, as you know, I picked it up.
hmm
Uh, but yeah, I picked it up and started playing it today, and it's pretty cool so far.
Yeah,
I'm kind of cheating, but
yeah, you are kind of cheating.
but I figure the difficulty will get to me later.
Yeah, it'll
I'm
get
just
to you.
catching up.
I also got Jurassic Park. So, I've been playing a lot of Jurassic Park. That's gonna be really cool. Telltale games. I like those adventure games.
Yeah. Anything else going on?
Um, no, I'm glad to
No.
be back.
Glad to be back on the show.
Yep,
Did you miss us last week?
I did.
It's just not Wednesday without the
Yeah,
podcast, right?
it was really weird. I had too much free time.
Yeah, right. When did you get Dragon's Dogma?
Last Friday.
Oh, so yeah, you did have a lot of free time then.
hmm
So,
A lot of free time.
well, I actually have been playing Amazing Spider-Man, the game, which actually be my review. Your review is actually gonna be Homefront,
Yeah,
right?
my review is gonna be Homefront.
Okay. Yeah, I played Amazing Spider-Man, so I'll save that for later. I also did a lot of like World of Warcraft beta stuff. Started Dragon's Dogma, and Little Big Planet 2 is actually one of the free PlayStation Plus games well, I guess it's this month. So
This month only, huh?
yeah,
Oh, I'm about to jump on
yeah. So definitely pick that up if you haven't.
it. Yeah, it's only like 4 gigs too, so I think my hard drive can handle it.
Right.
So,
So all right. Well, we'll actually go right into the news.
News and rumors.
All right. You want to take the first one?
all right, the first story here. Telltale says that there will be a season 2 of Walking Dead after the first 5 episodes. I think this is pretty much a no-brainer because the first, this Walking Dead adventure game series has been super popular.
Right.
They've already sold like 1.7 million episodes or something like that. Oh yeah. 1.7 million. That's like huge for these guys. So.
Especially as a download game.
Yeah, I mean, zombies are super popular. We had all those zombie attacks last month or the month before that, something like that.
Bath salts.
Yeah, all the bath salt stuff. Let's see. Oh, this first season, episode 3 should be coming out mid-August. I think August 15th, something like that. And the game will be going to retail after the fifth episode. So, I mean, they did that with Back to the Future too. So,
We can see you, by the way, back there. You're not hiding. Yeah, so that was pretty quick. Commercial interruption
yeah.
for not being
Brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, so anyway, back to Walking Dead season 2.
Season 2. I mean, it's good to know that that they're going to be continuing the story because I mean
You're hooked.
I'm hooked. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that I gotta wait, but I've been over this before.
Yeah.
So maybe when that second season comes around.
Now, did you read their apology at all? Because they actually wrote like a formal apology to apologize that they're taking so long, but they want the episodes to be such a
Yeah,
high quality.
I remember you telling me about that. But like the PS3 version was buggy when it came out.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
I mean, like, so it came. It
Hey,
took
but
them
they
longer.
fixed it the next day, so that's pretty good.
They did fix it the next day, but even after I fixed it, there were still some parts in the game where there was some definite loading issues, you know. So,
Yeah, it's hard to
so,
say really.
yeah, I mean, I still enjoy the story. There's only one point. I'm literally nitpicking one little thing. So, I mean, yeah, Walking Dead. I really like that series. So,
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Like I said before, I'll probably pick it up. It seems like we talk about Walking Dead every week now,
pretty much.
but I guess it's pretty big for
Mhm.
a network title or like a download title. So it's
Yeah,
especially an adventure game on a
yeah,
console.
yeah, a
Um,
downloadable adventure game. I
Now
mean,
it is on PC too, but
that's true. And plus, I mean, the episodes are only they're they're like $5 a piece.
right.
You know, it's cheap gaming, but it's also good gaming.
Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll wait for episode 3 to come out, and then it would be 15 for 3 of them. But then I'll buy the pass, and then I'll have
Yeah.
3 to play. Plus, hopefully by then I can get rid of some of this back. Okay.
Oh, all the stuff you got.
Yeah, because I mean now I got Dragon's Dogma. I still got Tales of
Graces,
Graces,
prototype.
Prototype. God, I got so much stuff to play, and I'm doing a video series for the World of Warcraft stuff,
That's
as you
right.
know. So
Mhm.
I'm still trying to
And
blast
you're gonna
those out.
link to that on the. You're gonna show those videos on the site.
Yeah, they the first 2 are up now on our YouTube site, but they're not on the website yet. That's coming later. I wanted to make sure they got uploaded to YouTube first before I start putting them on the site. But
Cool.
they should be good, so they should be on there. Hopefully later tonight, if not tomorrow,
Cool.
just depending on what goes on. So in another episode 3 news, Square Enix has announced that they are actually thinking about doing Final Fantasy 13 3, which is, I guess, like 16, but not like 13. The third one of 13, which is actually 39.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, basically, what is this guy? Motomu Toriyama, that one I do know, dropped hints that we probably haven't seen the last of Lightning and the crew. I don't know about you, but I didn't play Final Fantasy 13 2, and the people that did play it say it was kind of cool, but it was actually kind of terrible. So,
That's how I felt about Final Fantasy 13.
see, I'm mixed on 13. I think 13 was good, but I don't think it was Final Fantasy good. I think it's still one of the best JRPGs to come out of this generation, but it's definitely not up to the previous qualities.
What other JRPGs came out this generation?
Um, the only one I would consider probably better than that one would be Eternal Sonata.
Okay.
But if you want, you can count Lost Odyssey, because that's still...
I did like that.
Yeah.
I did like that game. That
Square
was
Enix
hard.
game.
It was hard, but
Let's see. I haven't played Tales of Graces yet. That's one. Star Ocean. Star Ocean was good, but it wasn't amazing. Especially if you played the third one. The third one kind of ruins the series.
that was on PS2, right?
No, Star Ocean, the newest, well, the third one was on PS2, but the
Okay.
newest one, Stars of Hope or whatever it was
Oh.
PS3.
Okay.
Um, I mean, there's quite a few coming out, but you know,
Hmm.
but yeah, pretty much they said that they left the ending initially open to DLC, but then they still left it open even after the DLC. So hopefully we'll actually get a better sequel to Final Fantasy 13 because from what I've seen and read about 13.2, it doesn't really wrap up a lot of the story. Like you learn more. It's kind of got that Kingdom Hearts syndrome where
Uh,
you
it
learn
is Square Enix.
you learn a little more about the story, but there's no like resolution at the end. So they're like, "Oh, we killed a bad guy, but he's just the shadow of the real bad guy." I don't know if that's how it really goes. Like I said, I've never played 13.2. I'm kind of just bashing it without
Yeah.
playing it, which is what we're allowed to do on the show.
Yeah, we're.
But the more important thing is there is no date for the Final Fantasy X HD remake, which actually is a good Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
which isn't this current generation.
You didn't like 10 too.
I never finished 10.2.
Mm.
That's how much I didn't like it.
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, this is pretty. Oh, this is nice. Oh, yeah, this is kind of terrible."
Was it the Catgirl suit?
Yeah, yeah. The pop opening kind of ruined it for me too.
Oh.
Yeah, come on, because I'm kind of like Final Fantasy always does like the orchestra music and stuff, and then they're like, boom, Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Yuna goes from like a hardcore summoner to Britney Spears, and you know,
And then, who was that other chick? Luna or something?
uh,
There's Yuna and Luna. The girl with the long hair. The singer.
oh right, and yeah,
I liked Final Fantasy 10.
yeah, 10 was good. All right, so let's keep talking about the current generation
Yeah.
and where it's going.
Speaking of the current generation, it's another good segue.
I'm getting better.
Yes. Sony, they're going to be doing or releasing a new Super Slim PS3.
That's a
Now,
rumor.
yeah, it's rumor, rumor. Um, they went to the FCC office or something about this new
Yeah,
project.
it's basically they filed a I don't know if it was a patent or what, but
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. It, now considering this current model, yeah, the new model series would be the 4000 series since the series we have now is the 3000. I always get them mixed up because they number the series the same way as their PSPs and all
Right.
that stuff. So it's always I always lose track of them.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wrote it down because I couldn't keep track of it either.
And it says the PS3 Slim here was announced at Gamescom, so the Super Slim announcement might be probable.
Right. And the I think the big thing to take away from that is Gamescom's actually the biggest conference in the world. Like it eclipses E3 almost like 4-1 in terms of turnout. Just because E3 is what is it, a trade show,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Gamescom is I can't think of the other word. The client. It's like consumer show.
Yeah. Okay.
Consumer show. That's it.
Yeah.
I should have really wrote that down. So now you have the
The
fat
old,
the
old,
fat
yeah, the fat PS3,
PS3.
and a 40 gig at that.
Right. Now we did some price comparisons, um, and hard drives really aren't that expensive for yours. Like you can get what was it like a 350 gig or something hard drive for less than $100.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the Super Slim would have to be priced at for current PlayStation owners to use, or well, to buy?
Well, how much is the one out now, the Slim?
It's $299 for the 160 gig and 249 or 349 or 399 for the bigger one. I forget which. I have the smaller one, so that's why I know the price on it.
I'm wondering if they're planning another price drop or something.
Yeah. Or do you think maybe they'll go the Xbox route and throw a smaller hard drive in there and make it a lot cheaper? Because that wasn't revealed in the patent in the schematics. It was
How much smaller?
It's actually supposed to be 20 like the exact basically it's like 30% smaller than the Slim. So it's a lot smaller and it's like PS2 slim size. So
I mean, if it could, I would like a new PS3 if it could be quiet.
yeah, they are
Mine
pretty
is,
loud.
Yeah, mine is like mine roars. Mine roars louder than the monsters in Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
So it is
Now,
annoying.
yours isn't one that's backwards compatible, was it? Because I
No,
know some of the fat ones were.
mine didn't have that.
Yeah.
Mine didn't have backwards
So you
compatibility.
have the old fat one that isn't good for anything.
Pretty much. Just plays games.
Yeah,
Games and Blu-rays. That's it.
that's right. Well, what more can you ask for?
True.
Except for a store that updates more than once a day.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to the Xbox later. We actually have for two resident PlayStation gamers. We sure do bash Sony a lot. And
We do.
I think it's the grass is greener type of thing.
Yeah, grass is greener syndrome.
But we'll get to that. Our next story is actually going to be one that hopefully makes you guys think. If not, it's going to make us think, and we're going to sound really stupid because once we start talking about it, you're like, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
And we're going to try to figure that out, and it's going to fail horribly. I already know it because since I wrote this story, I've been thinking, and every time I do, I wake up in a different city. So pretty much in a European court, and I'm pretty much going to have to read this one, so sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. European court rules that it is legal for you to resell digital software. And here's the legal jargon portion of it, where the copyright holder makes available to his customer a copy, tangible or intangible, and at the same time concludes in return form payment of a fee, a license agreement granting the customer the right to use that copy for an unlimited period. The right holder sells the copy to the customer, and I think I've bored you guys enough. Basically, the long thing is, if you buy software, it's yours at that point, and you can do what you see fit with it. So, reselling a game to GameStop, a physical game, it's pretty easy. You take the game in, they say they're going to give you $9, like they do on the commercial, and you walk away crying with your $9.
Yeah.
Because a physical medium has changed hands. You download Walking Dead. I want to buy Walking Dead. How do you give me Walking Dead? That sounds like a really bad STD.
Yeah. Yuck.
Gross.
So if I download Walking Dead, how do I give it to you?
Do you think companies will have to start making media extractable? This is my crazy theory, and this is the only way I could see this working. Is downloadable games are going to come like computer files. They're going to come in executables, and from that point, that executable you can resell to somebody, and they have to re-register it. Like basically, you register the executable, it gives you a code, and from that point on, that executable game you can play. If you want to resell it, you have to unregister the code to your console, transfer that executable, and then they can input your old code and get a new code to make it playable. That's the only way I can see this working. Other than that, I can't think of a physical way to make this work.
That does make sense. But like, say, what if I went over to my brother's house and wanted to play the game over there? I'd have to go through the same process.
Yeah. But think of it this way: you can't do that now at all. You can't, like, you download Walking Dead, you can't take it to your brother's house and play Walking Dead.
Yeah, I want to show him the game so much.
Right, but he could come here. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
We have no problem with people, as you saw. You know, people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I wasn't pointing to somebody standing behind us. That'd be creepy. But yeah, I am. Other than that method, that was I wrote this story. I heard about this story last week, and then I wrote it on Monday, and like I've been racking my brain, and that's the only way I can think. It has to become like a computer file.
Yeah. So what do they give it to us on? Like,
it can still be downloadable because I mean PC downloads are getting really big now and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So you could still do that via download or um, yeah.
And then you give it the code back to GameStop or something.
Basically, you unregister the code and then you can take that into GameStop and say this is my code for Walking Dead all 5 episodes.
Hmm.
What are you guys offering for that? And they're like, oh well, it's a digital, so we'll give you $3.
That's weird.
So, yeah, it's a pretty weird
Yeah, it's
ruling.
weird. You're like,
Now, the other thing this affects, and this is kind of the reason I put the story in because it's not so far fetched, is um, games like World of Warcraft where you have an account.
hmm.
They're actually pushing for you to be able to sell that account. This current ruling does not allow that, just because of the fact that you're not actually buying a game, you're buying a service to access the game.
Hmm.
Um,
Now, didn't people used to do that where they, like sold their characters or something like
they
that?
still do, but
Is that banned or something?
yeah, it's banned from like the major sites. Like eBay won't sell characters, stuff like that. Uh, but there are websites that deal in like account sharing and stuff, and Craigslist and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, but that was the whole initial thing that started this was um, somebody was like, I put 400,000 hours into EverQuest, and I want some money for that time because I put a lot of time into it, and I no longer play, so I want to see if I can get anything out of it. But EverQuest was like, no, it's not worth anything.
I
So
want my money.
right, so they battled it out, and this was the initial ruling that comes from it, and there's going to be more on this, so we'll see
Hmm.
how it goes. But as of right now, uh, games, basically digital games, movies, and audio can currently be resold in Europe. Now this is Europe, not U.S., so
Yeah.
don't get excited.
Yeah. U.S. moves slow, so hopefully,
U.S.
well,
doesn't move.
yeah. Well, speaking of digital gaming software,
Yeah, this is
here's an interesting story. Halo 4 will require 8 gigabytes of memory in order to play multiplayer. That's
I would just like to say good job Microsoft for screwing 75% of your player base.
that is pretty huge.
Now, it it's because of multiplayer game features that you need 8 gigs. So are they are they are they is the reason they did it is do you think they're pushing for like a stronger game? Like you think the game's going to be that much better that it requires double the regular hard drive space of the most sold Xbox system, or do you think they want people to upgrade hard
I
drives?
think they want them. I think it's twofold. I think that they actually have something that they're seriously trying to do, like game wise. But I also think they're trying to this is the
Make a little
getting
money,
make a little money on the side. This is getting towards the end of the Xbox 360 era,
right?
and so let's sell a lot of these hard drives that are sitting behind the shelf at GameStop. So uh, I just want what I really want to know is I mean, if they're gonna make this type of announcement, why not give us a little bit more details as far as what's
Yeah,
this is going to?
what this is going to
Because
affect.
I remember when Halo 3 came out, they said you got the most optimal play. Like Halo 3's online was really good. You
Right.
got the most optimal play, um, playing straight from the disc. Now, eventually, you were able to install games to the hard drive, and they were saying there was a little bit that added some lag between people who had the game on their hard drive and people who were playing from the disc. So there's that discrepancy between the two different players. So
Right.
uh, I don't know. This is kind of weird.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that they're at least giving warning. Like that would kind of suck if it was
Like
like
way ahead of time.
yeah, if it was like a month out because Halo 4 isn't supposed to come out till November, so you got a good amount of time.
Save up your paychecks.
Actually, that's kind of why I put the next note in there. Well, the last note, but they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
The current 250 gig price for the upgrade hard drive is $99, but almost nobody has it. I looked at Best Buy, I looked at Target, I looked at GameStop, I looked at Kmart, I looked at Toys R Us, pretty much all of our major retailers, Staples, uh, and none of them had it in stock. They list it, and they don't list it as clearance. They normally list it, but nobody has it. Now the 320 gig, everybody has it, and that one's 130. So upgrade prices really aren't that bad.
No.
I checked out the new Xbox form factor. It's actually really easy to upgrade the hard drive, so that's not a big deal. But the next note is kind of a big deal. A while back, I think it was one of our first shows.
Yeah.
We
the first or maybe like the second show.
Yeah, we talked about the $99 Xbox that the Microsoft Store was running. The deal was sorry, my brain just kind of died. The deal was that if you bought an Xbox 4 gig with the Kinect, you got it for $99 if you agreed to a 2-year contract with
Xbox Live.
Xbox Live. So the ending price actually ended up being a little more than if you bought the 4 gig without the Kinect. Now, however, some things have changed, and I actually want your input on this because this is actually sounding like a really good deal. The $99 Xbox is still $99 with the 2-year contract and the Kinect. They're running it at Best Buy now, so it's a little more readily available. Rather than being available at 14 stores, it's available at like 400 stores.
Yeah.
So, but after the 2-year contract, that ended up being basically the way I did the math is if you want to play Halo 4, the cheapest option to go would be get the $99 Xbox, get the 2-year contract because you're going to want to play online anyway, and then buy the 320 gig hard drive upgrade. In the end, after the 2 years, it's going to cost you $588. Now, this is where the math gets fun. If math is fun. If you were to buy the 320 gig with the Kinect straight up, like the package, like the Star Wars Kinect bundle, pay for 2 years of Xbox Live, it's $759. It's almost a $200 difference.
Yeah.
For the same thing.
Yep.
So, and even if you downgrade it to the 250 gig straight out of the box, that one's actually
if you can find it.
Right, if you can find it, is $709 after the 2 years. So, if you're thinking about getting an Xbox, this is probably the time to jump on it. I don't think you're going to get a little bit better deal.
And you're going to want Xbox Live.
Right,
so.
And here's my theory on Xbox Live. If you pay for 2 years and the new console comes out in less than 2 years, it's going to be Xbox Live anyway. So it's going to roll over.
Yeah.
So I'm seriously considering it. We don't really have the funds immediately, but maybe next paycheck comes around, I could definitely do that. Also, Best Buy is having a buy 2 get 1 free, so this week would have been like perfect, but
to jump on it.
But I can't catch it this week. Other things need to be paid first, as you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a pretty good deal though. Think you might get one?
Oh yeah, I need one. Yeah, I want to play Gears of War 3.
I want to play the Halos. Well, I really only missed one. I missed Halo Reach. I want to play Halo Reach.
Reach looks cool.
I'm a Halo fan. I loved all the Halos. I'm sad that I'm happy that I switched when I did, but now that they've fixed the Red Ring issue and they finally integrated HDMI, it might be time to go back.
Yeah, that HDMI. I hated those using the component cables all the time, and
right.
HDMI is just so much easier.
All right, well, we're gonna jump into reviews because we are actually doing pretty good on time.
Nice.
So let's wherever I put it.
Reviews.
All right, start us off.
All right, I'm reviewing Homefront. It came out last May, I believe. It came out last year. The story is really interesting. You are a pilot that's being held on some concentration camp. Then let me backtrack a little bit. it takes place in the future, and Korea has taken over, has invaded and is now occupying the United States. And I remember when I used to read Game Informer a lot more religiously, and I heard about Homefront. It looked really interesting. So the concept is really cool. So I saw it at a pawn shop. It was like $5 or $6. I'm like, you know what? Let me just pick it up, and it was okay.
All right, let's go through the pros.
Pros. The story was pretty cool. Yeah, I like this.
You're not killing Nazis.
Yeah, I'm not killing Nazis. I mean, for a first-person shooter, you're either killing Nazis or
Aliens.
not necessarily aliens.
Robots.
Middle Eastern people.
Oh, you're going with more of the modern shooters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, now we're just killing Koreans. There were a lot of really cool cinematic points. Like wow, oh my god moments.
The set piece moments.
Yeah, set piece moments. There were a couple of those that were really neat, but they were just too few and far between.
Oh man.
I didn't like that. The presentation, it was very Half-Life ish. You play it as
the free man.
The free man, the guy that didn't speak or anything. Just the man who knew how to do everything or did everything for everybody. And it reminded me, the graphics wise, reminded me a lot of Battlefield, like Bad Company. So that was pretty cool. And the multiplayer is really cool because it is very Battlefieldish. The same people that did this game, Chaos Studios, they also did Frontlines, Fuel the War.
Oh, okay.
So they really tried to push the huge, massive battles and all that jazz. Cons, it took a while for me to get into the game. Like, it probably wasn't until like the second or third mission where I was like, okay, I had to force myself to continue.
That's never good.
Yeah, I was like, let me just finish it. But after the third or around the third mission, I was like, I'm getting a little into the story now. I already mentioned the off-balance variety of missions. Like, you're a pilot. They recruited you because you were recruited to this resistance because you needed to fly something. You don't fly that really until the end. You don't do any really cool stuff military-wise until the end, like joining up with remnants of the U.S. Army and stuff. Like, it was
right.
It wasn't paced well.
Got it.
But one thing I really did not like about this game was how buggy it was. This game was
a year after release.
A year after release, this game was super buggy. The game would freeze on me. Now I thought something was wrong with my disc because I did get it used from a pawn shop, so it only cost me $5 or $6. So I took it out, I wiped the disc, and it was already pretty clean. So I just double checked it, slapped it back in there. Maybe 20 minutes later, it froze again, and then I'd have to do like a hard reset and just in order to start it over again. I don't know what I was really bored, so I plowed through it. I plowed through all the freezing. Apparently they did try to patch this,
but it didn't.
It didn't really fix it. So the freezing was a much bigger problem. But in all, I'd give the game a 6.5 out of 10. It's like the single player campaign's pretty short, but I mean, I think it was longer than Modern Warfare's or Modern Warfare 2's. So, and everybody loves that game.
But at least it's more original.
Yeah, it's more original. You're not just fighting Middle Eastern people.
Yeah, I mean, I as a whole, I'm pretty bored with the first person genre, which kind of sucks, but because that used to be one of my favorites.
It got overplayed.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell. The problem now is there's so many coming out that it's hard to tell what's good and what's not. And I can't really. This is gonna sound really stupid because we're doing reviews, but I can't really go off the reviews because I think reviewers are suffering from the same problem. Like, they will rate games lower because it's in that genre, unless it's one of the Herald few.
Yeah.
So
like I feel like if Homefront's like mission-based situations were paced better, I think the story could hold up to Modern Warfare 1 or 2, or at least 2. Because I mean, Modern Warfare, the first one was interesting because you were switching between different characters, and you know the stories were all tying
Right.
up, and it was like, oh, this is pretty neat. But I mean, come on, Occupied United States, that was an interesting
Yeah,
concept. They are doing a sequel though. They are doing Homefront 2, and they're following it up. A new studio's doing it. I think.
Maybe they can
Yeah,
fix the
yeah, yeah.
problems.
They definitely need to fix it. I won't be in first in line to pick it up, but I will want to
Maybe
play
for
it.
$5 again.
Maybe for $5 again. Maybe a year after it comes out.
All right.
But 6.5 out of 10.
That's actually the second lowest review score we've ever given a game.
Was
what's
it?
what's the first lowest?
I don't know. Raccoon City?
I was about to say show's over. We are now auditioning for new co-hosts.
What was it?
Raccoon City.
I reviewed it?
Yes.
I forgot.
If not, we've talked about it enough for you
Yeah.
to have reviewed it. But I'm pretty sure you reviewed it.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Maybe that was on the first show.
I think it was the first show. It was one or two. But yes, that is the lowest.
What did I give it?
A steaming pile of crap. That was before we did numbers.
Oh, that's right.
So if you were to give
Brain
that one,
fart.
if you were to give Raccoon City a number
Right now.
right now,
I give it a 7.
so Homefront would be the lowest.
Yeah.
Just to contradict me.
Yeah.
You're a douchebag.
uh,
By the way, did you see they released a couple of new hues for the outfits for Raccoon City this week?
a couple new hue ones.
Hues. Yeah, instead of dark gray camo, you have light gray camo.
How much was it? Like $3?
$5.
Oh,
So
wow. Glad I don't have that game anymore. We almost did not mention Raccoon City this episode.
yeah, we should have did a whole Raccoon City segment. We should do a whole Raccoon City segment. Like we should have trailers and like gameplay guides and stuff, and be like, this is where the AI runs into the wall. So
Mhm.
your idea of what to do is to run into the wall. I don't know if I can dig up gameplay footage.
One of these days, I'm gonna play that game again.
When it's $5.
When it's $5, exactly.
Yeah.
Or no, I was about to say, or a buy two get one free. But I don't know if I want to waste my free game on a Raccoon City.
Right.
Nah.
All right. Well, my review is actually on The Amazing Spider-Man.
Did you see the movie?
I did see the movie. The movie was amazing. Lives up to its name. But basically, like I told my wife, it lived up to almost every part of its name. It was amazing. Had Spider-Man in it. I didn't see a whole lot of the. I didn't see any of the. But you know, for the rest of the part, I'd give the movie a good solid
2 thumbs up.
5. If I
8
was,
thumbs up.
If I was a monkey that was mutated, I'd give it 5 thumbs up. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I'm biased, but it was a good movie. I guess I can kind of throw that out there now. The game takes place after the movie, so if you haven't seen the movie, you probably don't want to play the game too much, just because it does reveal a couple of pretty major of the movie's plot turns and twists very early in the game, like as soon as you start it.
Yeah, that's weird because don't they always release the game before the movie comes out?
Usually, but you got to remember I'd say probably 9 out of 10 movie games are movie tie-in games, not are movie. I guess movie tie-in games.
Yeah, they are tie-ins now.
Whereas this one is more of like a continuation. It's like a after the fact type of thing. It continues the story in the same universe, which is actually I think a good way for games to go, because then they're not pigeonholed into the story of the movie, especially if the movie's story isn't that strong, to stand up to it.
Yeah.
But we'll
especially get all that gameplay out of.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the pros first. It is an open world Spider-Man game, so that's a big plus. BNX, which did the last 2 Spider-Man games, the last 2 were actually more of like level based. I almost want to say corridor based, because it was pretty much go straight, fight boss, do stuff, go straight, fight boss, do stuff. And granted, there was a lot more to it, like sneaking and stuff like that. And the first one that they did, Shattered Dimensions, was really good. I really liked that one.
Yeah, I like that one too.
I tried Edge of Time, and I didn't really like it. so I took it back. But the open world is amazing. I, like I said, for a movie tying game, it's actually really good. The graphics, I put this under pros, but it's more in the middle. The graphics for the characters, like the
Models.
right, are really good. Um, the environment looks pretty good. The problem is there is and this might be a PlayStation issue, but from what I've seen, it's more of an all-around issue. Is there's a lot of texture pop in this. Like you'll be swinging through the city, and it takes stuff a good few seconds to appear.
Hmm.
So, and this happened pretty frequently. Like there's a lot of missions where you got to pick up sick people and take them to like medical pavilions, and I would actually get to the medical pavilion so fast that I would land and it would look like I'm in an empty parking lot, and I would get credit for the quest, and then I'd swing away, and then all the medical tents would pop up. So that was kind of annoying. Luckily, that's really the only instance I can come up with where it happened regularly. Most of the other times, it really wasn't noticeable. And when you're inside, you really don't notice it because it doesn't happen. The voice acting was really good. None of the people from the movie are in it, but previous voice actors for the Spider-Man franchise were.
Yeah, like Bruce Campbell and stuff.
Well, Bruce Campbell has a nice cameo as one of the side quest givers, but like the guy who did Spider-Man's voice has done his voice before in
Okay.
cartoons and stuff like that.
That's
So,
cool.
and the web swinging is actually really enjoyable. The main gripe I've heard is it kind of sticks to air, like you don't need to aim it. But I'm not so much of a stickler in the fact that I need it to stick to buildings for me to enjoy it. Like I don't want to have to worry about, you know, where's the light pole or blah blah blah. This way, at least I can get across the park without it taking forever.
Yeah.
And the actual web swing singing itself, like the flips and stuff, look amazing. So
Acrobatics.
yeah, so we'll hop into the cons, and there are a few, um, other than the texture pop. The combat is good, but it definitely suffers from Batman Arkham City envy. Like it definitely has the same combat. Like it is identical. You press
Yeah.
square to punch, you press triangle to dodge and reverse, and you press circle to do special moves and X to jump. So it is Batman down to a T. So if you played Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, you can pick up the combat really good. Now the combat itself looks a little flashier because it is Spider-Man and he can kind of jump around and do all kinds of crazy stuff. But other than that, yeah, that it kind of did lower it, and that actually leads me to the next thing. The side missions got kind of repetitive near the end, which I actually haven't finished them all because I'm kind of swinging around, picking up people, taking over the medical tents, swinging around, picking up people, taking
The
over
medical tents aren't there yet.
Right, right. Well, usually by the third one they're there.
Oh, okay.
So that's not too bad, but they could have expanded it a little more beyond the typical pick this guy up, take him here, or here's a race type of side quest. Like Spider-Man games have always kind of had that problem, I guess, because there's only so many things Spider-Man
Yeah, there's
can
only
do.
so many things you can do.
But I think they could have found a better way to break it up. The photo missions were actually really fun. Those were kind of cool. So I would have liked more stuff like that. I already said, if you haven't seen the movie, it'll spoil it. My last gripe, and this one isn't really major, which is why I kind of put it at the end, is the costume selection in this is terrible. Like they gave you like the option to get like 6 costumes, and uh, 2 of them are variations of the current movie costume. 3 of them are variations of the previous trilogy's movie costumes, and the other 2 or 3 are 3. The other 3 are actually current comic costumes or very recent comic costumes that aren't very good. Like
Yeah, they
the
aren't.
Negative Zone. I think the only one that's really cool is
Iron Spider?
Is Iron Spider. That one's all right, but yeah, they could have did a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had so many. he's had so many costumes that they could have expanded upon that. Now, all that being said, I'm gonna give it a completely biased review of 8 out of 10, just because reviews are personal opinion.
So you think it's the best Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, easily. It it it's the first game since Spider. Well, I should have put Ultimate Spider-Man because I actually found out that came out after Spider-Man 2, and I think that one was actually the best Spider-Man game. But
You didn't like Web of Shadows?
no, I didn't. And as I looked around and did my research on the game, apparently a lot of people really liked Web of Shadows. Like,
I didn't think I'd like it at first, but it kind of grew on me.
and that's what people said. They said if you gave it time, it would grow on you. I personally didn't like it. I didn't like the story. I didn't like a lot of the mechanics and stuff. It just felt very button mashy for the combat. So I don't know. Shattered Dimensions was really good,
Yeah.
but it's
But it
kind of hard to
wasn't.
do
Yeah.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
in
It was.
that.
It wasn't like that. I like a Spider-Man game where you actually have that open world feel to it.
Right. It's kind of like the Arkham. I'd say it's kind of like Arkham Asylum versus Arkham City. Arkham Asylum, you had very little freedom on where to go. Um, Granted, you did have a little more freedom than Shattered Dimensions, but Arkham City, you could do anything you want. It was open world Batman.
Hmm.
Whereas, like I said, Spider-Man, it's the same thing, just to a greater degree. You kind of need open world to do Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I say if you're a superhero sandbox game fan, which I'll be able to compare this to Prototype 2 pretty soon, definitely pick it up. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you should already have it. Other people, it could be hit or miss. I'd probably say see the movie. If you like the movie, pick up the game. If you really like the movie, if you kind of like the movie and you kind of like where it's going, you might want to wait for a price drop. But otherwise, you can pick it up.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So
I mean,
you saw me playing it. I mean, what'd
yeah,
you
oh,
think of
yeah,
it?
it looked really awesome. I like some of those boss fights and like just the swinging around and the.
Yeah, I have to say, yeah, I didn't touch on that, and I'm glad you brought that up because I completely forgot. Pretty much all the boss fights, the big boss fights. Now the one-on-ones with like Scorpion and stuff are your typical, dodge this, dodge that, reverse his tail, quick time event type of
Yeah.
thing. Which that wasn't, it's kind of starting to get overplayed, but it wasn't bad in this game because it didn't drag on forever. Like the average like foot boss fight, I guess is a good way to say it, probably lasts for under 3 minutes if you know the strategy.
Know
Um,
what to do. Yeah.
the big boss fights against, spoiler alert, the Spider Slayers, were really cool because they were a lot different. Like they had you swinging around the city, they had you, webbing up certain parts of it so it would slow down and fall, you know, finding the weak points and stuff. And it
Yeah.
wasn't ever uh, hard enough that I got frustrated. So
Yeah, it looked really nice and it gave you a sense of speed and stuff. So.
yeah, I did like that. Like once you got going, and you started learning to use the web rush mode, you can actually do some pretty cool stuff. But you know, check it out if you're a Spider-Man fan. So that actually, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight. We're a little under the hour mark, so we did have a little less news because it was a
Yeah.
couple slow weeks. But you know, anything else you want to talk about? We're probably
Uh,
gonna play some Dragon's
yeah, I'm
Dogma.
probably gonna play some Dragon's Dogma after this. So.
Yeah. Hopefully I will have played enough. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be your review next week.
Yeah, it'll most likely be my
We'll
review.
do the first ever
Joint review.
joint review,
Nice.
and whatever you say, I'm gonna disagree horribly with.
Dragon's Dogma discussion.
Yes. So hopefully it's another slow news week.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I don't know. It's Comic Con, and
Oh yeah.
it's not a hugest of game news, but some stuff can start coming out. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. So otherwise, we'll go through the normal ending spiel. Check out our website at gamersdigest.me. we're still looking for viewer questions. You can always hit us up on chat. We do the live show every Wednesday. Or you can send your questions when we're not live to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. And also check out our YouTube channel. Like I said, some World of Warcraft videos are coming up on there. If not, we always have our our podcast. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
That's it.
You want to plug your website?
Oh, you can check out my website at pureandhiddentruth.com. It's basically, it used to be a web comic. It's based on the novel that I'm working on. You can read the web comic on there. If you go to there's a button on there, you can read it from the start. But right now I'm shaping it more into a blog that's centered around the book series I'm trying to get off the ground. I'm 76% done with it. After I finish this chapter, I'll be at 80%. Hopefully in 2 more weeks, I'll be done.
Then you're going to market the crap out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to market the crap out of it if Dragon's Dogma doesn't stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really...
So in about a month, your book will be done.
Maybe.
All right. Otherwise, like I said, check out our website. Check out our YouTube channel. Like us on YouTube. Subscribe to us, whatever they do there. We should probably get a Facebook page. Everybody has one of those.
Yeah, we probably should.
That's it. So we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Always do that after.
I know. It's a reflex.
Yeah.
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Factastic production. Send your questions to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. Intro music by MF Greth. Any music by Fapito. Check them both out at newgrounds.com.